Hey everybody! Oh man, not working. Come back, folks. Oh, is it working? Hopefully it's working. Guys, if you see this, please say yes. If you're having technical problems, please say no. Guys, write yes or no. Do you see this? I'm on? Yes, yes, yes. Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks, because I got a message that there was some technical problem. No problem. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Alright, guys. First of all, check out beautiful Jerusalem. How can you not enjoy beautiful Jerusalem? Shalom Aleichem Avi, Manishma, Baruch Hashem HaKol Tov. Thank you so much for asking. Purim's in 2 weeks. Yeah, folks. Oh my God, thank you so much for telling me about Purim. Guys. See the beauty of Jerusalem behind me. Beautiful Jerusalem. Today, ready folks? Today is a very, very special day. I'm going to get into the real info. We got such important information for you. Boker Tov, hello Kadesha, Mudsley, love Israel, amazing. We're in Jerusalem. This is, what can we tell you? This King George Street over here. Hello Tel Aviv, you're watching with my dad. Amazing, Brian, great seeing you. Hello Dad. Hello father of Brian of London. Great people, Brian of London and his dad. Fabulous, fabulous people. Follow Brian of London and Google him and read what he has to write. Read what he writes. Hola Mose, great seeing you. You'll be here on Monday. Give me a shout out. Team Dima, if you're in Jerusalem, give me a shout out when you come. Alright, first of all, folks, the great city of Ding Dave. 1 second. You definitely, thanks Avi, always tell the truth that is, and you update us. Thank you, Esther 3. Thank you. Okay, folks. Today is an awesome day. I'm going to get to the information. Rehov is street. Rehov King George. This is like a park, a beautiful park near the Plaza Hotel area. Today is the first day of a new month in the Jewish calendar, folks. Jewish calendar is different than the regular calendar, and we have our own months. Today is the first day of a new month, and it's such an awesome festive month. And it's a month in the Jewish tradition when we are commanded, ready for this folks? This is the beauty of Judaism. We are commanded to be happy. I'm right next door to Israel. Amazing. So we are commanded, us Jews, with this new month, which is called Adar. Do you know that Teradak was outside Damascus? It was near the garden too. No, I didn't know that. So I stayed at the Prima Kings. Yep, 2 minutes away. What's 16 billion? I'm gonna get there, Fat Lucky Muhammad. Me, Miska, Sweden, a new account. Amazing. Great seeing you, Miska. So, I just told you, today, Jews all over the world, we are commanded to be more than happy than before. We are commanded to be happy. It is the month of Adar. We celebrate the festival of Purim. It is Adar, A-D-A-R. Google it. Google month of Adar, Jewish month of Adar. Google Purim, P-U-R-I-M. It is a festival where the Jews of Persia were about to be destroyed, annihilated by the Persian Empire because of some evil man named Haman. And miracle of miracles, it is a huge miracle, but again, I'm a huge believer. God doesn't just do miracles. Miracles come about through natural occurrences, through men, through what we do on the ground, and then God does his miracles. So sometimes you see something that's miraculous, but most times miracles are happening every day and they're taking place by human beings. They're just things that happen, but in a historical perspective, they look miraculous. What was the miracle? That even though the Persian Empire, it was an empire, it was the strongest, biggest, most powerful empire at the time. And then one of the main advisors, Haman, went to the king and said, let's destroy the Jewish people because they are causing trouble, even though he just hated us. And yet, that decision was then overturned because of Queen Esther. Queen Esther was a Jewess. She was a Jewish woman who became queen. She did not want to stand up for the Jewish people. She was afraid of being killed because you're not allowed to go to the king unless you're requested to go to the king. And the only reason she was able to go to the king is because she had the guts to say, I'm going to go even though I was not invited. And she started a process to educate the king that his top advisor Haman was out to destroy her people, and the king overturned the decision. And instead of the Jewish people being destroyed when all of the Persians went out to kill us, because the king could not rescind his order for Persians to go try to kill Jews, he gave permission for the Jews to defend themselves. That was the miracle, folks. So it's a miracle, even though it was a miracle that came about through human interaction, through Queen Esther and her uncle Mordechai. So that is the holiday, and that is such a festive holiday for us because we celebrate miracles, folks. We celebrate happiness. We look back on tragedy and turn it into happiness. We don't look back on tragedy and then just be sad about it. We look back on tragedy and how do we learn from that to make life better? Same thing, we look back on the Holocaust. Instead of focusing on being sad about the Holocaust, we say, no way are we ever going to let a Holocaust happen again to the Jewish people. Thank God we have the state of Israel. We have to remain strong. We have to be invincible so that never, ever, ever again can a Holocaust take place. And we celebrate Israel instead of focusing just on the sadness of the Holocaust. That is the Jewish spirit, folks. And today is the beginning of this new month of Adar, where Jews all over the world are commanded to be happy. So that's a bit about Judaism. Now let's go to the $16 billion question, folks. Here we go. This is such important information. Anyone who follows me, yes, thank God for Esther and Mordechai, totally respect women. Guys, first of all, I'm saying this to women. Women, there is women power out there. And guys, respect your women, because women have power. Not just physical power, but emotional, spiritual power. Don't look down upon it. Don't be confused about it. Learn about it and harness it and bless that power you have, whether in your mother, in your wife, in your sisters, in people at work. Focus, focus, focus. Where was the evil guy Haman hung? In Persia. All right, so definitely women be inspired by Queen Esther, and men be inspired by those women in your life. And I'll talk as a man. Sometimes we don't understand the women in our lives. Women's minds and men's minds work differently. But if you're a smart man, don't take that confusion to look down upon it. Take that confusion to learn about it and harness it and appreciate it. Okay? And it's not always easy for men to do this, and I know because I sometimes have a hard time as well, but I love my wife, and she is awesome, and she is amazing, and even though there are times that I'm confused with her emotional energy, but it is all there for good, and she helps me become a better person. But if I would doubt that, then I would be a lost man. So that's my 2 cents about the inspiration of Queen Esther. Golda Meir was more wiser and powerful than every man today. Could be. All right, folks, the $16 billion question. Anyone who follows me on Facebook or on Instagram, Hello Babito Pucana, thanks for being here. Precious, thanks, Vision. Good on you. You got it, Imajap. And guys, share this information. Whether you share the Periscope, whether you share this information with friends and family at the dinner table, whether you share it on Facebook, share this information. This is crucial. And if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you will have seen it already. I posted a picture. The picture says the following. Very, very clear. Yes, you, Mr. Palestine, this is for you. The world has donated more than $16.2 billion to the Palestinian Authority and Hamas in Gaza. You following me for this, folks? Who wants $16.2 billion? What can you do with $16.2 billion? This is just over the past 7 years, according to the statistic I saw, and it's probably much more over the past 20 years. You have donor nations, the European Union countries, America. This is your tax money. You have UNRWA. Any money that goes to UNRWA is going directly to help pockets of the Hamas in Gaza. Now, think about this. Do you know how much money $16 billion is? Do you know how much a country can do with $16 billion investment? You can invest in industry. You can invest in a job market. You could take down slums and build housing. You can build infrastructure. Do you know how much a country can do with $16 billion? Okay? And your taxpayer money, regardless of where you live, because all the nations of the world, or all the Western nations of the world, have been giving this money either via their governments or UNRWA in the UN to the Palestinian Authority and or Hamas. So here's the kicker, folks. Look at them today. Look at Gaza. Look at Gaza. They are crybabies to the world. We have a horrible life. Did they invest the money in Gaza in industry? Did they invest it in infrastructure? Did they take down the slum neighborhoods of refugee camps to help make life better for themselves? What about in Judea and Samaria and the West Bank of the Jordan River? Did they do that there? No. 90 to 95% of that money given by you, your money was given to either the Palestinian Authority via your country's government or via UN to UNRWA. It was given over to either fund terrorism, to pay terrorists in jail, to build weapons, to purchase weapons, to build tunnels that would be used as attack tunnels to kill Jews, or it was pocketed by the corrupt leaders of the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. The leaders of the Palestinian and Hamas are millionaires, if not billionaires. Look up, go to Google, folks. Google how much money Mohammed Abbas has. How much does Israel get from America? Lakeem, you are so off topic. We're not even going there. Israel is a blessing to America. The amount of money America gives to Israel is priceless for what it gives to America in terms of intelligence and weaponry and defense and national security. Palestinian Authority and Hamas, they don't give anything to America. American people get nothing except for terror and more terror by the money their taxpayer money is giving. Okay, so don't you dare bring in this phony, how much money does America... America only gives the money to Israel because they get it back in spades. But when your taxpayer money is given to Palestinian Authority or Hamas, it goes to fund terror and to fund cronies and terrorists to become richer. So you Google it. Google how much is Mohammed Abbas worth, okay? And he's done nothing in his life except be a terrorist and be the terror leader of the Palestinian Authority. That's one. Now Google the leaders of Hamas. See what their worth is. They're also in the millions and the billions. They've also been career terrorists. Where are they getting all their money from? From you. You work hard, you pay your taxes, and your government's giving money to the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. Yes, Mohammed Abbas. That is making them rich, do nothing to help their own people, and invest in terrorism and in destruction. Okay? So, folks, my question is the following. Someone wants me to shut up? You can go. I'm here to talk. You came to listen to me, so I guess you don't want to be here. America, totally. 100% SDR 3. Forgive me for not knowing how to pronounce that. Okay? So here's the question. Someone has to ask, well, what... anyone intellectually honest, okay? You like the month of being happy. Amen, Holly. America needs to support totally Pajama. People, it's your money for 100%. America shouldn't give anyone it. Lakeem, that's fine. That's America's decision. But in the meantime, they give aid, and look where they're giving aid to terrorists. We can ask God to take it down. So here's the question. Anyone intellectually honest must ask, why has that $16.2 billion not been used to help their own people? It has not been used to build businesses. It has not been used to invest in job training. It has not been used to take down the slums and build better housing for the people, for Palestinian Arabs in Judea and Samaria or Gaza. It is not. So why not? And anyone who thinks they're intellectually honest and they don't ask themselves that question, they are lying and they are hypocrites, because there is only one answer. There is only one answer. Lakeem, you know nothing. There is one side that is a terrorist, and there's the other side that stands up for life and wants to help. Arabs, Mohammed Abbas brought his wife to an Israeli hospital to get treated. He hasn't invested money given by you for medical hospitals in Judea and Samaria to help his own wife. He brings his wife to Israel to be treated. Hamas leaders bring their relatives to Israeli hospitals to be treated. Well, they had $16.2 billion. Why didn't they invest your taxpayer money to assist in the development of their medical services in Judea and Samaria and Gaza under the Palestinian Authority and Hamas? They didn't. They prefer to use their money to fund terrorism and killing and putting money in their own pocket. There is no two wrong here, Lakeem. You're on the wrong side. Israel and the Jewish people are the right. Right? Exactly. So the question is, why are they not using this $16.2 billion to help their own people? Don't they want peace? Don't they want their own state? Please don't call Palestinians terrorists. Palestinian Arabs, Hamas, Palestinian Authority, total terrorists. Not every Arab is a terrorist. Not every Palestinian Arab is a terrorist. But there are plenty of them. They're killing us every day. Wrong. Totally Mayberry. So again, so then the question is, so why don't they want their own state? Why are they wasting this money on death, destruction, terrorism, and pocketing it? And the answer is simple, folks. And it's obvious. They don't want their own state. If they wanted their own state, they could have used those $16.2 billion to develop a state, to develop a productive society, train their people, invest in jobs. Because they're evil? Yes, there is much evil there, 100%. It's based on terror, they pray to a black rock. Okay. So again, so the answer is simple. They don't want a state. They don't want to create their own state. If they wanted to create their own state, they would have used their $16 billion of the past 7 years to create that state. They had plenty of money. They could have created 10 Singapores with that money. They could have had a huge tourism industry in Judea and Samaria and Gaza. They could have, but they didn't use the money to create industry and create businesses and tourism and help their people get out of the slums. They use their money to fund terrorism and to get rich. Why? Because they are not interested in creating their own state. They are only interested in one thing: destroying a state, destroying the one Jewish state of Israel. It is that simple. Ask anyone who talks to you about the Palestinians. Do not say every Muslim is a terrorist. I did not say every Muslim is a terrorist. Anyone who follows me, guys, so people who follow me, what do I say about Muslims? I say I care more about Muslims than Muslims care about Muslims. Because Muslims, to live in peace, know to side with Israel, because in Israel they have free rights, they have equality, they have freedom. They have more freedom and rights in Israel than they do in other Muslim countries. Muslims' biggest problem are fellow Muslims. Did you get that? I care more about Muslims than liberal progressives who lie and say Islamophobia. There is something to be afraid of in Islam. Okay? There is a sickness, there is an evil in radical Islam. Okay? There is an evil there. And I care more about the Muslims who escape the Middle East to live in a free society in Europe or America or Canada, and then the radical Muslims come and make their life horrible because the Middle East radical Islam that they escaped ends up coming to their cities and towns in Paris, in London, and Dearborn, Michigan, etc. So I care more about that. Okay, Mohammed, you can say whatever you want. I'm very clear. Anyone who follows me knows exactly what I'm saying. Oh, your country's East Europe, not Palestine. Really? So the Jews of Iraq for centuries come from East Europe? The Jews lived in Syria for centuries? The Jews in Persia, the Jews in Egypt, we all come from Europe? The Jews in China, the Jews in Australia, we all come from Europe? No, we all come from Israel. We all come from the land of Judea. Okay, and then we were exiled by the Romans, but Jews always lived here. It's the Arabs from Arabia that are the conquerors of the Middle East and the conquerors of North Africa, because that's what the Islam and the Arab world do. They conquer. It's a tribal thing. How does Israel treat Ethiopian black Jews? Amazing. Amazing. We have Ethiopians in the parliament. We have Ethiopian soldiers. Ethiopian black Jews are the exact proof that Israel is not apartheid. People say that Israel's horrible because we treated Ethiopian blacks. You crazy? You've never been here, Mom, and you know nothing. Ethiopians have more freedoms here than blacks do in Muslim countries. So get your facts straight. So again, back to the 16.2 billions. Yes. We stand with you. Thank you, Sherlyn. Glad to hear for truth. So again, folks, so the truth is, all you have to do is focus on the 16. Who killed children in Palestine then? Hamas. Because they use their children as human shields. So when Israel has to defend itself, the Hamas are then using their children in order to get killed, and women and old people. I don't have any issues, but don't talk rubbish about Islam. What did I talk about rubbish about Islam? I said there's a problem in Islam. Jihadi intolerance, terror in Islam is a problem. That the people suffering the most from it are moderate Muslims. I'm saying that straight. Moderate Muslims have the biggest problem with jihadi, intolerant, terror, radical Islam. That's I think that's clear. If you have a problem with that, I don't know how much clearer I can be about that. So again, anyone who talks to you about peace and a state of Palestine, guys, ask them about $16 billion. Why weren't $16 billion handed from your taxpayer money used to build up a productive society with businesses, job training, taking down the slum neighborhoods and building new neighborhoods? Hello, India! Why? And again, it's clear, because they don't want to build up a state. They just want to destroy the wonderful, beautiful, free, democratic state of Israel, where Muslims have more freedom and more rights than anywhere else in the Middle East. They're extreme around everywhere. There are no extremists like the radical Muslim extremists. You have hundreds of millions of radical Muslims around the world who all they want to do is kill people who don't believe in Allah. Okay? That's what's happening in the Middle East right now. There are people who want to bring Sharia law to London, people who want to bring Sharia law to Paris, they want to bring Sharia law to America, and it's not good for anyone who's not Muslim. Okay? So, no. There is, today, 21st century, the only ones who have extremist religion that want to murder and behead people in the name of their religion is Islam. So it's the moderate Muslims who need help. They need to reform their own religion. That's the truth. Hey, Mur, we'll never, well, maybe. In any case, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the $16 billion. Remember that. That is the biggest proof out there for anyone who's intellectually honest. Maybe you're going to say Islam is the only radical religion. Oh, really? You see radical Jews and Christians beheading people around the world today?